just take it in stride. ISM manufacturing. I'm thinking that because manufacturing has been, I mean, the jobs report came in so weak. I think the manufacturing numbers may come in a little bit lighter than expected. But unless AI is really replacing a lot of that human production that has been dropped out the market, that's what I'm expecting. So let's see what it's hitting for. Ooh, I put a little cayenne pepper in this little coffee. It's just spicy. It's good though. ISM report dropping. Let's go to the calendar, man. We got to pull up the Culture Shock Astro Finance calendar. I'm gonna pull this up, show this to the people on the live. Good morning, everybody in the live session. Welcome. We are going to be charting price levels today, not trading too heavy. This is the charting session, live charting session with Culture Shock Investments. We got my guy Pioneer in the building. Say what's up to the people, Pioneer. Say what's up.
What's up, man? I'm here.
We here. We here. All right. So let me get this link sent out. And we are going to look at the calendar that I have, the Culture Shock Investment Astro Finance calendar. And today, we're going to go to today. We're going to go to the daily view. So we have ISM services. This is the report we're waiting on. Everybody, I want you to take a minute to read this while I send out the invites. Take a minute to read what this report is saying and how it will potentially impact the market. I'm going to send out the invite so we get more people in the live, and we'll see what the report does. After it drops to the market, it's 10 a.m. now. Let's see how the market reacts. I told the people we're going to take Apple calls if we get above this 311.50 level on Apple. We want to ride that up to 315. Apple's been strong the last week, so we want to ride the momentum of things that are strong. The Qs, I like the Qs right now where they are. They actually at call entry at 721, but we have this event, so you got to be very careful on trading events. You don't know how the market's going to react. Right now, 10 a.m. is still looking choppy. No immediate pop or pullback. Now let's see. We start getting a pullback here, or if we're going to take off. I'm hoping we take off. Let me get my live link out here for the people. Share this. I don't know why it shows like that.
It's a choppy market right now.
Man, like I said, that report came out. So right now we're just watching the chart, seeing how we're gonna react. I don't even go down to the 5 minute. You see, we put in a 3 bar, so I'll let you know indecision. Let me move this institutional order blocks out the way, so the chart not so congested to y'all. Oh, that's my momentum levels too. Let me go to the weekly level layout because I need to set my levels anyway. Let me separate this off. All right. So we're going to separate off the weekly levels. Microsoft got smacked up this morning, but Microsoft gave a nice dip back down the call entry at 381. We may get a bounce off of there. So let's see. I just want to make sure that transition was working. Let me pull up the ETFs real quick. Oh, shit. We're going to look at SPY, the Qs, and IWM, of course. We're going to pull up these on the weekly chart. See if they're respecting last week's levels, which they are. Qs is respecting that 720. Like I said, I like Microsoft bouncing off of 381. Could probably ride the way back up to 386. Microsoft calls move pretty decent. And I'm looking at Apple this morning as well. I'm looking for Apple to go ahead and retest above 311. If you look at Apple on the weekly chart, we get above that 311 level. That's a pretty crucial resistance. It's been wicking down below that level for the last, what, this is on June 8th. So on June 8th, we try to get above there, rejected. The week of June 1st, we try to get above there, we rejected again. So now if we push above there this time, third time's the charm, I like to say, we should get that breakout. But the last two times we pushed above there, we tested 316. So I like that same reaction again. And then you got to watch to see what happens up here at 316. So we're going to put our take profit alert. We got a level sitting here at 313. Actually, the target level, I'm sorry, that must have been from a daily level. The weekly level target is 315. Pretty much almost 315 flat. I'm gonna put my alert up here at 314.60 because I like to be alerted a little bit in advance of hitting that target. You don't want to wait till exact price of resistance and get caught in that rejection. All right, so we got the targets marked off on Apple. We're gonna go back down to the micro chart. See, we're in a bullish trend this morning still. Let's see if any patterns are playing out on the smaller time frames. Nothing that I see with any targets, nothing. So now we're just waiting for reactions. So the report came out. We should see by 10:15, 10:30 what the market really wants to do. And then you're going to have that stall out period of the middle of the day where volume's going to decrease and you're going to get more chop. So if we don't make any kind of decision here by like 10:30, 10:45, between 10:30 and 11, then probably going to chop most of this day and end up chopping down if anything. So keeping the eyes on that. Let's see what's popping in the news today. Let's see what's going on in the news today. You got any companies you want to chart this week, Pioneer? Anybody in particular you trying to chart?
I'm watching Apple. They said they're gonna release this this flip phone, iPhone, stuff like that. We're gonna see how all this is gonna affect.
Okay, the foldable iPhone setup. And Apple's trying to buy these Chinese chips in order to accelerate their production of the AI phones, of the AI capable phones. So if they get that approval, one, that's going to improve our relationships with China. And that's going to give Apple a boost because that's going to allow them to now increase production while a lot of other people are going to be waiting for the NVIDIA chips to clear out of backlog. You know, a lot of backlog with the Micron chips, with NVIDIA and SanDisk. A lot of these popular chips are on backlog order. So a lot of companies are waiting in order to make sure they have enough for the production of their next line of technology or whatever they're about to put out. If Apple gets approval for to use DRAM and NAND chips from China suppliers, then for devices sold in China. Okay, so they're not looking to do this for devices sold in America. They only want to use the Chinese chips for devices sold in China, which will still help push their sales in China more rapidly, I'm sure.
Still boosting their global market.
Exactly. So that's a bullish thing. Apple partners with Intel on U.S. manufacturing. Apple partners with Intel to boost U.S. chip production and expand domestic manufacturing. Okay. Yep, Apple holds large cash reserves. We know that. Russia is warning China. Russia's antitrust agency warned Apple for allegedly favoring foreign search apps, ordered local search engines and Max Messenger be pre-installed by July 15th, warned of fines up to 4 billion rupees. So Russia is putting pressure on iPhones to make sure that they are putting in Russian search apps, not pushing Google on people and ChatGPT. I'm guessing Russia has its own infrastructure that they want their citizens to use. Okay, Apple's always getting threatened to be fined with something. That's the thing about being a global business. Someone always trying to find you, man. Someone always trying to take your money, man. That's why I say more money, more problems.
I was saying, nah, put us first. They might end up phased out just like Bing. Who remembers Bing.com? Nobody.
Nobody. All right. Let's see if there's any major news come out today. So we had the Trump account starting today. That's a big thing. The Trump accounts, everybody's getting that. Any child can be enrolled. Any newborn child in America can be enrolled in this Trump accounts. You know, and this is going to be an $1,000 investment account that is funded by the U.S. Treasury, that is being gifted and added to by other companies who are trying to kiss Trump's ass. They're donating their money to this Trump account fund as well, and they're looking to pretty much create an automatic investment of U.S. citizens investing into the stock market. Now, this is a good thing. It could be a dual-edged sword, just like anything holds polarity. But this dual-edged sword, I think, is going to start off as really good if we can educate the youth properly on how to manage their investments and not just having on like an autopilot that the government is kind of shifting their money around for them. So you want to take this opportunity, if you have children, to go ahead to the Trump account website. I'm gonna pull up the site for you now with the link so you can pull it up and get your children enrolled. It's a government website, and it should not be, it's going to be trumpaccounts.gov. Of course it is, right? Why would he name it anything else but his name? So go to trumpaccounts.gov and you'll see a page like this start up, and you should go ahead and begin this process. All right. Now, they are maxing out how much you can contribute to this account yearly. I believe it's around 2,500, but all the details are going to be within this enrollment form. So it's going to be almost essentially like, from my understanding, like a 401k account for your child. But you're going to have to contribute to it. There's no automatic contributions. This is contributions from you and you as the parent. And you could set up automatic contributions to something like this, or you could be fiscally responsible and start up and manage a investment account for your child yourself. But this is an automated way. I would say go get the free $1,000 for your child and have that account sitting there as well, and allow it to grow through the investments that the government will make for them through that account. I'm gonna have to look into it more and see if you are able to. Well, let's go through this. $5,000 per year to maximize growth. All right. So this is a capped investment. Oh, let me put this on the screen. I didn't know this was on the screen. So this is a capped investment tool, and it works similar to something like a IRA or 401k, where they cap out your contributions, which is why these tools are not as effective to me as just directly investing in the market. But it's a good way to get people who are not invested to invest. This is connected and
it sounds like he's trying to get as much volume in the market as possible.
right, exactly. This is a volume push. This is going to get a lot more accounts into the stock market. So you want to watch out and see how effective it is at getting those accounts and what those accounts are going to be forced to invest in, because they're going to be directly investing into stocks automatically once they open. So we got to figure out what those stocks are. It's most likely going to be ETFs like the S&P 500 and the Qs. So that means a lot of companies that are part of those ETFs stand to get a major volume boost just off of a mechanical operational change that's happening.
Sounds like more institutional volume than this shit, so I'm not gonna lie.
Mm-hmm. And you don't want your children to end up being used, their money to be used as liquidity cushion, because yeah, that's what ultimately could happen. They could start using these accounts as liquidity cushion, which means that just because there's so much more volume jumping into the market, and we know the exact amount of money that's being put in for each account, so they know $1,000. They know at least $1,000 is being put in per child that's enrolled. So once they get the estimates of the numbers and they see how many kids enrolled, they know how much of a cushion that has been put in the market by these accounts, and that can allow them to manipulate that percentage of cushion to their advantage as they see fit. And Professional investors will know how to do it, but the average retail investor is not going to understand that's what's going on, and that's what's causing the volatility. So we got to pay attention for that coming in the future as well. And say, like, now we got an extra 10% of volume in the market because of these accounts, right? Now, when they have certain market pullbacks, they know a normal market correction will be 10%, right? And that will be maybe the stopping point when they want to look to create a rebound in the market so we don't pull back into a recession. But now with this extra cushion, now they could be more likely to pull the market down into recessionary territory and know that they have this extra 10% cushion there in order to allow them to do that. So now when they go on the recovery spree, they know it's much easier for them to bounce out of 18% than it was before because they have all this volume support behind it now. So now you may get much more volatile swings in the market that create squeeze outs and force people out of the market because they're getting hit with these drastic pullbacks. But the long-term investor will still win because they're ultimately going to rebound the market back to the upside. It's just that those down pulls can end up becoming a little more harsh now because we have so much more volume support or so many more accounts being open, investment accounts being open, creating that cushion, that liquidity cushion. I like that. All right, let's get back to the charts because this is charting session.
Making $1 million in a week, they can make it in an hour because they got more volume.
Right, exactly, and that allows them to pull back the market even further instead of a 10% correction. Like, okay, we don't want to pull it back before any deeper in here because we might get stuck in a recession. Now they're more comfortable pulling it back further because they know they got that cushion there where they could bounce back out. Like how they manipulate the market now, maybe into correction. How people feel like Trump is manipulating the market into correction and then bouncing it back out and everybody keeps buying the dip. They're gonna be able to make the dip even deeper because right now, as the dip dips, a lot of people are not being squeezed out the market. A lot of people are being able to hold through these corrections and actually increase their wealth by dollar cost averaging in and getting more positions. The key is not to get everybody rich. That's not what they're trying to do. They're trying to get themselves more rich while providing you as liquidity. So if they see everybody getting rich in the equal pace, now what that does is that takes liquidity away from them that they're able to use to increase their wealth. So they got to figure out a way to stop everybody from continuing to feel so comfortable buying every dip and make sure they're the only ones that feel comfortable buying a dip. And the only way to do that is to create deeper dips that incite more fear, that incite more worry and concern, that allow them to buy that amount of fear while everybody else is selling. They'll be still buying. And then when the market rebounds and comes all the way back, they'll be the ones with tremendous amounts of wealth. And a lot of people that sold trying to buy back in, trying to scalp their way back in, are going to miss out on so much gains. And that's going to create that wealth gap, allow it to increase by even more. So, like I said, surface level things sound good, look good, but when my mind thinks about things, I always think about the other side and how things are being utilized and used to increase the power of those in power. Because if you're not thinking in that sense, you're thinking arrogantly that the people in power are really looking to empower the society by giving them different opportunities to invest. And I believe these Trump accounts will be good for individuals, but it's going to be much better for the people who already have wealth. Trust and believe. But let's lock in back on the charts. I want to get these levels set. I want to start with some levels on the. Well, since we got Apple up on the screen, we were talking about Apple. Like we said earlier, 311.43 call entry for Apple was coming up there. Apple's above 310 now. You see Apple pushing? You in there with me, Pioneer? I'm in Apple calls. We looking for Apple 315 today. All right. Microsoft.
With a little fair value gap, I was waiting for them to push through it, but I'll hop in.
Yeah. Based on my upward momentum right now, on the short term, they're holding an upward trend on the 30-minute and the hourly. Actually, no, they're about to break a downtrend on the hourly. To break the downtrend on the hourly, it has to get above 311, which is that's why that 311.40 is a crucial level. So in the smaller time frames, we were still in a little downtrend, but now it's flipping. And I'm going to look at the hourly because this is the one that's most steady. All the rest of them are still changing pretty dynamically. So this little mid dotted line right here is called the midpoint of the uptrend. So we want to see Apple push through this little mid dotted line right here, this uptrend that is in. This is indicator I use to measure short-term momentum, and this is letting me know we're in a short-term uptrend right now, and it has potential to push at least from where we're at now. We got another one. We got at least a 1% push before we start reaching the top of this upward momentum, and it could start getting fizzled out because it becomes too hot. You don't want to hold something that's too hot. You know, you want to cook on the pan. You want it to be the right temperature. You don't want the pan to be too hot. You're gonna put your food on there. It's gonna start burning instantly. It's not gonna cook the inside. So you want to make sure it's at the right temperature when you're in your investments. It's the same thing. You don't want to be nothing too hot, because as soon as you put your money in there, your money could get burnt. All right. So you don't want to throw your money in something too. You also don't want to throw your money in something too cold, because now your money just sitting there freezing and going nowhere. All right. And you can lose your money that way as well. So you want to find something that has good momentum, and whatever direction is going up or down, that momentum is confirmed in that direction, and then you find the price level in which you will find your entry for that trend, and you will ride that way to the price targets. Don't fight the trend. Don't try to be Mr. Time to pivot. Don't try to be that person, because the market will smack you up trying to do that. All right, that takes a lot of time and skill to master when the market's going to pivot, and even those people fail more often than they succeed. Believe it or not.
Well, you just preaching to the choir. Shit smack me up like Bernie Mac.
That's what be happening, man. It's hard. It's hard timing those pivots. It's a tough game, but you can go with confirmation and trends, and even those sometimes don't play out in your favor. But that's the best you could really do. Outside of that, you're getting closer and closer to gambling. The other things you do, because we already ultimately don't want to be day traders. We're using this as equity to build our long-term investments. We're not trying to be day traders, full-time day trading. We're trying to be option traders. We're trying to be investors that use option trading to build up our long-term equity. We're not trying to look at this as the end all be all. Option trading is that you should not be your entire account. Okay, and if it is, then we gotta start shifting and start investing into long-term stocks more, and using a smaller percentage of your account for these option trades, and allowing your wealth to build. You gotta plant the seed, and you gotta let it grow. You can't plant the seed, water it, and then dig up the dirt looking to see if the seed grew any roots. You gotta leave it alone and let it grow a little bit until you see something start coming out the ground. Then you go, oh, okay, at least I know something's growing here. I did the right thing. I got something going on with my investments. And then maybe you start taking some of the leaves and using those for option trading. But you trying to cut the seed up into pieces and use a piece of the seed to option trade, plant a piece in the ground, and then you eat another piece. Like, how are you going to grow anything like that? You got to plant the seed first. Just plant the seed, wait a little bit. And a little bit is not a long time, sometimes 6 months to a year. Because it's planting the seed and waiting to get some kind of leaf or stem that you can use to option trade and kind of accelerate the growth with. All right, that's my nature analogy of the day. Let's go back to the charts. Apple about to hit call entry.
I'm learning to keep some money in there to bail myself out of a play. Contract at a lower price stuff. That's the whole game.
That too, you gotta have the capital dollar cost average in the position. You can't be all in, and then have a position go the opposite way on you, or have it come back down to support level and you not be able to dollar cost average in or catch that support. All right, Apple's at call entry. Let's go. Let's see. Apple gets up to 315 today. That would be lovely. Because we're in a call right now. I'm looking for Apple touches 316. Let me see how much that call will have going up. That call will have gone up. Percentage wise. Ooh, that would be 600%. Should I get another contract?
I ain't up there like Boss. He buying 20 packs and shit like that. I ain't up there yet. I'm gonna get
might get another option contract on Apple. I like Apple's strength today. Apple is really strong. Apple is quite strong today. All right. The Qs are also pushing. We're going to set some levels on the Qs here because I had call entry last week at 720, but call entry this week, we're going to make call entry. Could have been 720 this morning. You could have caught that at open. We could use that same call entry. But this week, I want to make call entry 725. So that's what we're going to do in the chart here. Call entry is going to move up to 725 on the QQQ. Where we at? Right here. I'm going to put this alert in as call entry. And we got this level. I got this price level from the top wick of this week back here. You see this 2 down right here? You see that wick on the top of it? It goes up to right here. So that's where we got that level from. So if we break above this level, we got a good opportunity to push at least to this wick right here. Everybody who just watching for the first time, this is a candlestick. Candlesticks have something called wicks. Okay, so you want to watch and see whenever we break above a wick or break below a wick. And right now, if we break above this level right here, we'll be breaking above a weekly wick. And we have a good chance to push for the 737 target. I'm going to put my target take profit level. Let's go to the take profit because we got to get a target. I had a level here at 731. That must have been something I found on the daily. Yeah, that's a daily level right there. Now, because there's so much space between the entry and potential target, like 725 to 738 is a pretty wide spread. You could use a daily level in between, like I use for this level right here, this gray level. Instead of being a weekly, I go over here to daily, go down on the time frame a little bit, so you get some more candlesticks. And I found this wick right here from Wednesday, the top wick of Wednesday, top wick of Thursday, essentially. We get back above 730, 731. That's going to be a bullish sign. So we're going to use that as take profit area. That's a target. And we don't want to hit resistance too heavy there, but we will be looking to take some profit here. Gotta put that alert on and put entry this week if we're gonna have a pullback in the Qs. I like the put entry we had last week at 711. Yeah, 711, 74. That's gonna remain put entry right around this area. You get rid of this level here. Get rid of this level here. And we will look for 705 to the downside and 697 after that on the Qs if we pull back. I'm gonna pull up some gamma levels, some momentum levels. I need momentum levels for the Qs this week. Actually, I got some open interest levels. These not the momentum levels I like to pull, but I got some. Let me share them with the people who's in the live. This is a gem for y'all in the live, all right? I'm gonna give y'all access. Let y'all see the momentum levels we posted. Because momentum is key. And listen, you can have price levels on your side, you can have all the things set up, but if you don't understand how to gauge momentum in the market or gauge momentum in life, you can end up lost. You can end up trying to do things in the wrong season. All right, so you got to know how to gauge your momentum in whatever you're doing. But stocks is a good practice ground, and it helps you see when things are in a downtrend, uptrend, and how you need to ride that wave in order to maximize your outcome. Let's go to these price levels.
Gotta let it breathe, man. It's gonna breathe in, it's gonna breathe out.
Everything has to inhale and exhale, right? All right, I'll put this on the screen. The open interest levels. If you're in the live right now, here you go. Take advantage. Check it out. These are the open interest levels. These are the pretty much momentum levels for the Qs and SPY. So as you see, if Q's held above 720. We're getting into bullish momentum. That's what we're looking at now. Q's above 720 with a target at 725, 729, 730. That's why I said that 729, 730 area is going to be pretty choppy, which is why we want to take profit there. And then you got 735, 740 targets. IWM, the Russell 2000 ETF. You got call entry if we hold above 300. Right now, I don't know if the IWM is above 300 yet, but we could double check. Let's check real quick. IWM's at 298. All right, so you wouldn't be in call entry on IWM yet. You would still be waiting and watching. This is why I say patience comes in, and you don't want to jump the gun just because the market's looking bullish this morning. Oh my God, everything looks nice. Let me jump in. Let me grab the call at a discount. No, wait for the level, wait for confirmation, and then take the call. Back to the levels. So call size SPY. If we hold above 745, you jump in that SPY call, ride it up to 748, 750, then 755 are the levels after that. Let's see. Are we above 745 on SPY? Yes, we are. So we're at 749. So you see how we held above 745 this morning and tried to come down 747 and bounce. Now what's the targets it gave us? What's the target I gave? 749, 748, 750, and 755. So 750 is already a level I have on here for the Q, so we could put an alert here right now. Let's set that alert. Set your alerts. I'm gonna put my call entry. I'm gonna keep my call entry here at 749.20. That's a level from last week. And the targets will be 750.96 for me and 752. These are weekly levels that I had set already. But for the gamma levels, you were looking for 750 and 755, okay? So 755 will be a little higher than the target I got right now. 755 will be up here. This is what this momentum level is saying. We're gonna hit up there before we start getting some more resistance. Which that would be lovely. That would be love. Appreciate that if that happens. But let's watch how we react to these levels first. You always gotta watch and see how momentum and the price acts once it hits your levels. Because your levels are there for a reason. You want companies and stocks to respect your price levels. You don't want things just to be blown through your levels or down, breaking right down through your levels, because that means your level is not a strong level. If companies could just push right up through your price level or break right down through it with no kind of resistance on any time frame, that means that's a weak level. You might have to go back to the drawing board and see where you got that level from, and see why it was so weak in the first place. We don't want no weak levels out here, okay? Men lie, women lie. My price levels don't. You see the shirt. All right, let's keep it moving. Come on, Apple. Get your ass up. Apple's sitting right at call entry.
What you think he was taking profit right now?
Yeah, off that morning push from 307. So let's keep an eye on Apple. Right now, if you got any Apple calls at 311.50, I would stop out if we break below 309. 309 would be the stop out for that contract. You see we got a bearish order block sitting here at 309.08. These little lines you guys see on my chart here, these are institutional order blocks. So this is where institutions are looking to buy or sell based on the volume that has come in already. So it looks like there's a bearish order block at 309, which is kind of why we were struggling there earlier, but we finally broke that and we're pushing above. Let's see if we have any bullish order blocks weighing on the daily. Let me see. We got a bearish order block weighing up here at 317. So yeah, Apple pushes to at 314.50. I'm taking that. I'm not messing with the bearish order block up here. Don't want to have time for that. We might have a better opportunity somewhere else where we won't have so much resistance. So 314 is a hard take profit for me on Apple. 314.16 to 314.90. So we touch 315 or push above it, great. You guys can have that run above 315, but I'll take it. I'll take it as it is. Let's go ahead to set levels for. So we got the SPY levels. So you said SPY 750, 752 to the upside, to the downside on SPY. We will look at put entry. Let me see. Put entry this week is actually going to be 746 on SPY, not too far. So we could get that. If the market takes any kind of dip or reversal, we'll be ready for it right there at that 746.80 level. Of course, we're going to wait for confirmation before jumping in. Let's see if Trump is saying anything crazy today. So we got our put entry at 746 on SPY, 739.30 target one. And we'll make the second target 737.77. Remember, we're looking for weekly levels. We're looking for weekly levels. Okay, weekly levels to justify our level setting. Right now, we're still starting a little bullish trend. We had a bearish day. Let's see if we can restart a bullish trend on SPY. SPY had about a 4-day bullish run on the last trend. Let's see how long this one goes. Let me see Apple. What's Apple looking like? How's Apple's trend? Okay, Apple's in a 4-day bullish trend right now. So definitely if we get up to 315, I'm taking that. Because one, give you a little gem here, this little indicator I use. This right here is telling you the average number of bullish and bearish days that the stock has had and how long those runs tend to last on either side. All right, so when Apple has a run, it usually goes about 3 days, give or take, and it has a nice bullish run. So right now we're on day 4. So that lets me know this thing could get exhausted soon. I need to pay close attention, and we get up to this 314. It's a hard take profit. Don't play with it. Don't play with it. Don't play with it. Don't play with it, okay? And lose your money. The Qs. Did we do the levels for the Qs this week? Let me go to the weekly levels really quick. The Qs are set. No, this is momentum level. I'm sorry. I believe we did do the Q levels already. Go back to the weekly levels. Let me go back to the weekly. I still like Microsoft. They probably catch some support here at 381. I'm going to set this as call entry alert for Microsoft again this week. I like that 381.50 level for call entry. It's holding nice support there. We could play that bounce back up to 386. We're going to erase this. This is not call entry. Yeah, we may keep Microsoft weekly levels pretty much the same. Let's clear some space here really quick. 381, 386 target on Microsoft calls. Followed by that 392. Put entry on Microsoft this week. We're going to move the put entry up some. Let me see. Man, that is the closest put entry though. It is what it is. You can't force the levels. So the put entry I see is at 373. Put target on that 370. Second target, we're going to make 366.60 on the put side. Put that alert in now. Always set your alert for the entries and target. At least the first target, I say. At least. All right, let's see if Apple gives us a push above that 312 today. Come on, Apple. You know that's the one we watching. You know we watching your ass today. All right, who I want to put on the weekly levels list this week? Last week we had AMKR. Let's go look and see some of the companies from last week's chart. See how they're doing this week. Amcor Technologies, they are up 4%. But we're not touching them this week. And a 1 bar. Let's see, Broadcom. Broadcom has been struggling. Broadcom, we may need to touch them this week. I'm not gonna lie. This is looking quite appealing. Let me erase all these levels down here. First of all, we don't need this. Let's get rid of. We want to live in the moment, not the past. Let's get rid of these. So what's the moment telling? Oh no, I didn't mean to do that. So what's the moment telling me? The moment is telling me that Broadcom is showing a potential for a bounce here on the weekly. We want to put an alert in here at 376.80. This is going to be the call entry. We could put 364.20 put entry. Remember, this is not financial advice, it's just educational information. If you need financial advice, consult your financial advisor or go to a professional advisor for one-on-one consultation. If you need any kind of financial education or consultation, come to Culture Shock Investments. Visit www.cultureshockinvestments.com. Book your one-on-one today. Have a one-on-one session with me. Let me help you organize that portfolio. Let me help you understand the strategies behind building wealth, including establishing trust funds, bonds, owning commodities, royalties. All that is part of the wealth picture. This is one aspect of it. This is one of my favorite. This is what I focus on. But when it comes to building wealth, there are so many other avenues that you need to have your concern on and have an awareness of at least. All right, so you can start working on those directions when you have the time and mental capacity to. All right, let's get back to the charts. Broadcom, 378 right now. I like them to go up to 394. 394 is going to be the first target. We're going to put that alert in. I really want to catch Broadcom, so I'm watching this closely because I know that pop. When that pop happens, these contracts move very nice. You can make a lot of money from here to here. If you get a 2-week out contract from a move from 377 to 390, you can get like a 200% return on that. We're talking about a contract that's probably going to cost you about $400. So just be prepared to spend that money on Avgo. Avgo ain't cheap. You want to spend that on Avgo, okay? All right, let's go to Apple. Put the Apple chart back up. You gotta keep an eye on Apple.
It wants to break 312, so it keeps retracing to that 50 cent level.
Okay. Yeah, we got. Let me see if we got any kind of. Yeah, it's a little daily level right here that we're fighting against. And there's gonna be another one at 312.75. It looks like we could put that in as a light level, but we should be able to push through that. If we
break 312, I'm out of there.
Yeah, I see 312.67 as the next true level of resistance we should see on Apple on a daily. Let me put in a little alert there. Alerts are your friends, people. Set alerts. Always set your alerts and always pay attention to your alerts. Don't ignore those alerts. I've done that before. And if you feel like you have too many alerts set, that means you're probably watching too many companies. Cut down how many companies you're watching so you're not getting hit with so many alerts and it's confusing you. Good morning. Wagwan. Shit, I was just going through some levels right now. I did the ETS. I did Microsoft, Apple. I was looking at Avgo right now. I was trying to see if there's someone else I wanted to add to the list this week. Did the Broadcom levels for the people. Take them off the list this week. What's Google doing right now? Google's in a 1 bar. Okay. Google might make some shake this week. Meta. Meta put in a wild range last week, up to 630 down to 550. That's a wide ass range. So I'm not touching Meta this week. It's too wide of a range for me to want to try to trade. Take Meta off the list this week. Microsoft still sitting in a good little range here if we break up or down. Nvidia is trying to push a 2 up right now. So we got to watch Nvidia on the chart. Let's see, let's put in the levels for Nvidia this week. Last week call entry was 197.30.
Apple making a move to the downside.
So Apple doing what?
I said it broke my 50-cent level. It's moving a little bit to the downside towards 311.
No, you're watching 311.50? Okay. Let's watch it, man. It's a decision-making zone. You could get a nice pop above 312. You said Michael Saylor what? Selling more Bitcoin? He said he could sell, what was this thing? He said he could sell a whole bunch of Bitcoin. And they still be okay. MicroStrategy sitting at $98. Long call. Low risk. Nah, that's still pretty high risk here. It's still pretty high risk here. They could get smacked more. But if they pop back above 103, it starts presenting opportunity again. Below 100 is a little too bearish, but if it holds 103 and starts popping back up, 103 to 120, I like it in that area. I like. Gee, man, Trump accounts start today, man. You better get the jits enrolled in Trump accounts, boy.
Yeah.
ASAP.
Yeah, I had them all do that shit a couple months ago.
Oh, okay. Lit.
Free stock is my favorite stock.
Yeah, right. Give me free money. Give me free stocks. Give me the free stock. Shit.
Wait, so they matching like an IRA?
I don't say they. No, they're not matching.
$1,000 for certain stocks.
Right. And then you could contribute up to $5,000 annually. It said $5,000 annually. It said max contribution. So, gee, my theory was that they're creating pullback liquidity for the market by pushing more people into the market with those $1,000 accounts. That gives them a barometer where now they could go past 10% corrections and bounce out of it comfortably.
Right, because there's money there that can't go anywhere.
Yep. So now they could pull the market back 25%, scare the shit out of people, and bounce it. This. Yeah, bro.
They taking stake in crypto and basically putting it in the stock market. Right, exactly.
Yep. And they're gonna have motherfuckers get so scared in the stock market when the market's gonna have some 25%. It's gonna be like 30-40% pullbacks. Watch. People gonna be like, nah, ain't no way we bounce out of this. And the market's gonna bounce right out of this. And you're gonna be left behind. Left behind. And they're gonna be able to make so much more money with that. They're gonna be able to make so much more money. These guys are savages, man. They're savages.
Yeah.
But you just
bounce back won't even need a lot of volume, bro. Just like a couple buys.
That's it. Because the money's already sitting there that's not moving, that's going to hold that support. So once all the retail sellers leave and all the people that got fair, once all those FOMO sellers get out, boom, the institutions come back in and push the price right back up so fast. You're not going to have an opportunity to buy.
Boy, Apple making that push.
There we go. Apple on the move.
Nice.
Apple, yeah, I'm looking for Apple to touch 314.60. Apple's had great momentum coming into the day, and they ended last week with very strong momentum. So if Apple pushed to 314 today, this call I'm in is gonna be up 600%. But I only got one contract. I only did one contract, and I'm gonna do a week out on Apple. Once we close this 30-minute above the call entry here, got 11 more minutes left on it, and I'll ride that.
Q's did a death cross on the hourly pre-market.
Death cross?
I
don't say that.
At the end of Thursday. Yeah.
Okay. Let me do this institutional order blocks out of the way real quick. Where is the 200 day?
Shit, but you gotta watch because a couple days before that on the hourly, they did the golden cross on Tuesday, then a death cross at the end of Thursday.
Okay, here goes the 200. I'm like, where's the 200 day? The 200 days at 722 on the Qs right now. Yo, if we keep pushing like this, we about to do another golden cross on the hourly. If we push to 730, we're gonna hit a golden cross. The 50 day will cross back above that 200 day, along with the 10 day at the same time almost.
On the hourly?
Yeah. On Qs. Yeah. You see the 200 day at 722.80.
Yeah, 722.80.
The 50 day at 721.60, and the 10 day at 721.50. If those two cross the 200 day up at the same time, around the same, oh, we're gonna get a pop. I think they want to pop, especially with Trump accounts hitting the market. They want something bullish behind that. They want people to feel good going into this, you know? They want people to feel like, oh, yeah, we love Trump. Trump counts. Gonna save our kids' future. Gonna save our children's future.
You don't want some of this free money? Look at the market.
Look at the market. Right. Listen, man. Anytime they do stuff like that, you always gotta get skeptical. You take it, but you take it and you gotta do it with intelligence. If you taking it, you know, like, right. You know, like they sure will. They sure will.
These are stimulus checks just with a different name.
Exactly. They couldn't give that. They didn't give out stimulus checks, so they're doing this way. All right, let's get back. Let's see who I want to add to the list this week. We have. Take Oxy off the list. Had them on the list last week. Tesla was on the list last week. Tesla had a nice dip. Tesla popping off that dip though. Tesla back above 400. Damn, a Tesla call this morning would have been love. Could have called Tesla right at 390. Damn. They bounced right off at 390.
What happened to SpaceX? They said he just made the Nasdaq 100.
Tomorrow, SpaceX hits the Nasdaq 100. So we got to look at SpaceX. Right now, they're in a pullback. Nice little pullback, too. They rejected off on 166. I have level on my 166.50 that they chop around. And it seems like they rejected off that level today. So I'm going to adjust this level to right here, where the bottom wick of this June 15th week was, which is 168.13. And we are going to put this as the call entry. If SpaceX could get above here and close above here on hourly, I like calls. And the fact that it's being added to the Nasdaq may give it a bullish catalyst, but it could work in reverse. Like I said, I put out that article this morning in the Discord. Y'all know that, it could add like mechanical funding to SpaceX, because it gets added to the ETF. It could just automatically start creating buy orders in it, because certain hedge funds and certain institutional owners are going to increase their ownership either mechanically or reduce it mechanically based on the addition of SpaceX. So you got to see which one the institution is going to want to do. My guess is that they're going to increase because of how much ass kissing they did for Elon pre-IPO and how smooth they made the process for him. I think institutions want to be part of that. And they want to be part of space exploration and expansion. So I think they're going to make sure this Nasdaq 100 debut goes as a push, which is why I think they're pulling it back today. They squeezing motherfuckers out. That they trying to scare people out. They good for trying to do that. I wouldn't be surprised they did it with a crazy push down to like 150 today. Try to really scare some people. And then tomorrow, whoop, rounds start bouncing right back up. But let's see. I'm back on Apple. Apple, I'm on your head. Where you at, man? 312.20. Ooh, let's go. Come on, we almost at the little daily level at 312.70. There's a little daily level at 312.75. We break above that, we should be golden. We should be golden for sure, for sure. So let's keep your eyes out for that level on Apple. If anybody has, I don't know, my chat is not up in Restream. I gotta open this back up because if anybody has any questions, make sure you type it in the. Oh, there we go. There goes my chat up. What ETFs? What ETFs do I like? If you want to get outside of SPY, Qs, and IWM, for the foundation, and then let me go to my ETF watch list because I got some ETF babies that I do like. If you want to go international, I like Africa ETF. AFK is one of my favorite international ETFs, and it's been holding pretty steady sideways right now. But I do think they're going to get a pop soon. So if you want to invest in Africa as the continent, I like this AFK as if you believe in the expansion of the continent of Africa, I like AFK. It's turning at $26 right now. DRAM is a big popular ETF you're hearing people talk about now. I don't really like this one, but if you're looking for memory chip exposure, like to SanDisk and Micron and all those, this is a popular route to go versus buying those stocks because the stocks are just so expensive. And then you have one of my other favorites. Oh, JetQ. JetQ. The income. If you're looking for ETF that's going to produce you income, nothing like JetQ out there, boy. JetQ is a beast. You're talking about 10% annually, which will just alone in that 10% dividend will keep you on par with a performance of the stock market because the stock market averages around 10% return a year. Right now, we recently been having like 15-20% years because of all the new tech, but on average 10%. So if you could get a dividend at 10%, that's love. If you get a 10% annual dividend guaranteed and the price does not fluctuate down that much, it really stays within this tight range. If you look at it, since it's come out, it's actually only gone up. So you could have got in and bought in around $40, $45, and you're holding with it gone up in value along with you getting that 10% dividend. So you would be up about 25% in your holding, 26%, and you would be getting 10%. So if you're looking for an ETF, that's another route I would look to go. That's income based. So everybody out there that has 401ks and all that kind of stuff, and you're looking to take JEPQ, JEPQ. If you want to look to develop some kind of income and manage it yourself, these are the type of ETFs you want to look for. The ones that are pretty steady in their growth, sideways, don't get too caught up in the chop and volatility in the market, and they pay consistent dividend, and they are showing you stability and growth at the same time. This is not about explosive growth like tech. So you're not looking for things that are growing 30-40% in a year, 20% every year. No, this is about your money staying safe and growing and compounding. And that's what you essentially are doing with your ETF. I mean, with your 401ks, that's what you're looking for from your jobs. So there's nothing stopping you from going ahead and putting your money into something like this and doing it yourself. All right. JetQ is managed by top of the line equity managers at JP Morgan. Okay. So when you put your money in JetQ, just know JP Morgan is managing your money for you. All right, that's another loophole. You got some top end fund managers managing your money for you for free because you're not paying them, but they're in there doing all the hard work because they got to make sure this fund is continuously paying that 10% and is not going down too much. and stays consistent. So let them do the hard work and you just make the money. Another ETF I like is the SMH. This is the chip ETF. So technologies, chips, anything related to semiconductors, this is the ETF you want to be in. And as you can see, this has been going crazy over the last, let's say, even 3 months is when it had a crazy run, which is why I'm kind of scared that we may have some kind of pullback because this run has been ridiculous. In 3 months, the ETF went up over 65%, which is not normal. That kind of push is not normal. A lot of this was
What ETF?
SMH. Bruh, SMH in April. In April this year was $388. Now it's $613. That's the ETF we talking about. So I see some kind of pullback having to come in this market before we take the next step up. So is it going to be SanDisk, Micron, all those people that were overbought? Are they going to end up pulling back and causing a heavy weight on the market? Or is it going to be Nvidia, Microsoft, Apple? I choose the first. I think it's going to be those memory stocks that had those crazy run-ups. I feel like they're all about to get hit with some kind of pullback. All of them. And then it's going to give you opportunity for entry. So pay attention on that pullback because that's going to be your entry opportunity. But that pullback is coming. So let's pull up a SanDisk chart. Let's pull up Micron real quick. And let's see if we could identify.
I honestly think that memory problem is just a now problem. I think it's going to be resolved very soon.
Right. I don't think that's not a forever problem. This is not like a mineral they got to get out the earth that we don't have any of. They will figure this out. They will figure this out. Let's pull up the Micron chart. I agree with you 100%. This is not a long-term problem. They try to make people forget about Moore's Law, huh?
Right.
They really trying to push that into making it not like it's not like it doesn't exist no more. I remember the laws. We are good, right? Yo, that's the devil's tactic, boy. Make you forget the laws. Make you think like, oh, that law don't exist. What? That law's not real. Look at all this. Okay. And then bang, the law come and sneak up on your ass and smack the shit out you.
Next thing you know, you're in a Rico.
Next thing you Next thing you know, you're in a RICO case. Like, damn, I thought everything we was doing was legal. What happened?
Like, what? You was just cleaning the money. What happened?
Nah, boy, you can't do that. Hit you with that aha moment. Aha.
Guess you got an overseas bank account in another country.
All right, let me see some. Let me see some. Do we even got a trend on this? This is different. Why does it look different? Let me see something real quick. I want to pull up these memories chips charts and see. Oh, okay. I guess not. I guess it's just not in no kind of trend like that.
Apple look like it's making a push towards that 13.
Here we go. We going for that 314.50. I'm telling you, I'm not messing with 315 though. I'm out. I'm ducking. Getting low before then. Let's pull up that chart so we can watch Apple do its thing.
Everything is moving up, but it's a choppy move up. It's like, no gaps, no straight direction. It's a choppy move up.
I like that. Give me that.
Apple, you can kind of tell when people are taking their profit up.
I like a choppy move and then a breakout. I need to see some. I need to see a pop. But you know why I like choppy grinds up? Because it allows it to not get overbought on the momentum side. It allows it not to get too hot on the short-term momentum. And it could grind up like that. It could grind up like this all day. It could grind up like this all day. Because if you look at it on Friday, we did the same thing to the downside. You know how it was grinding down all day. It just kept going down. Start off with the big push down, and then it just grind down for the rest of the day. Didn't give you no pops really.
My only beef with choppy days is without the gaps, anything can make it drop.
Yes, you can. Yeah. And right now, Trump could come out and tweet something, and boy, can this shit drop. No support. You don't know where it's gonna go.
Hey, don't put that in the air, man. It's the World Cup going on right now. 4th of July is happening. He's trying to make America look good.
Yeah. Listen, Trump accounts out today. Yeah, today's going to be a bullish. They're going to try and make today bullish as possible. And Trump. Yo, Trump rang the opening bell today at the stock market. That lets you know they want to try to make today bullish. They don't want the president to ring the opening bell and the market went down that day. They don't want that. A lot of things about perspective and presentation in this world. They want to present things a certain way. They got to sell it to the people.
The pros and cons of having a businessman as president.
Yep. He's gonna make everything like a business. Marketing, advertising. I didn't even watch the AI video he made. I haven't watched none of the AI videos Trump made yet. I don't want to watch it. I don't want to be absorbed into. He's right. I don't want because it's gonna make me feel like it's gonna make me lose even more respect for him. Like, no, what are we doing? It's not even serious AI videos either. It's like he's trying to clown people. It's like, you're not even using the technology for anything serious.
He's soft launching this Big Brother campaign.
You're the reason why people are gonna hate AI because they're gonna say we're using it for stupid inquiries like what he just did and is draining the water supply. Reminding me now we gotta look at water stocks today. I gotta look at the water. I'm about to put one of those water stocks on the price list this week. Actually, great. Yeah, I'm glad I just said that. You see, talking shit. It pays off sometimes. Lamb Research LRCX is unstoppable. I don't know if we could catch them, but I'm gonna keep them on the list this week too. I wanted to look at the Micron and SanDisk charts real quick. So we're looking at Micron. If you look at Micron on a monthly level, I believe that based off a push like we just had, we got to have some kind of pullback to a monthly level. A monthly level has to be touched. And the closest monthly level we have on SanDisk is at 847. 847.60. And that's after we get above the high of where we pretty much are sitting right now. It's testing a monthly level at 1,000, which is where it pushed up to in May. That was the high in May. I'm looking for us to test the low of June. I want us to test June lows for Micron before I believe we really, really take off crazy again. At least that. If we come down to the highs of April, then that means we had something happen in the memory sector. Something must have collapsed because that's like a 50% pullback. That's the way down from 1,000. I'll bring it down to $530. But that shows you how crazy the jumps were. We went from $530 as a top level in April for Micron. The following month in May, the high was $1,000. That's a 100% increase in 1 month. So this is why I'm saying we got to have some kind of relief come in. All right. If you even look on the stochastic on the monthly, we're overbought on the stochastic. This is a short-term momentum indicator. We're overbought on that. The weekly, we may be coming down some because we had a nice little pullback. Yeah, the weekly's starting to come down some, but even the weekly still hasn't hit the floor. When this weekly hits the floor, let's see where we are. In terms of Micron, hopefully by that time it's already broken down to 840. And then if we're on the floor on the weekly, by the time Micron touches 840, I like calls right here. I like it to play that bounce. I like it to bounce back up to at least 1,000 from there. And we could potentially get caught in this chop range, which is why I will play the initial bounce, but then I will get out of Micron if it comes back anywhere close to 1,000 and just wait to see what happens after that. That's a little micron play for you right there if you want to test out the waters. SanDisk, the same thing. SanDisk on the monthly. SanDisk came back down to a monthly level, same way that Micron did. Came back down to its highs in May, which is why I said levels are respected. You see how it came down to this level and bounced right off of it? Came right down to 1700 and bounced off of it. But if we break below 1700, we will come down and retest 1500 on SanDisk. So those are the two levels we want to watch for on SanDisk. All right, and we'll play the bounce in this range back to this level, and same thing. Same shit, different toilet. All right, and that's what it's going to be. That's what it is. That's what it's going to be. Let's go back to this Apple chart. We got the Apple levels. We got the Micron levels. We gave you some ETF levels today. Man, gave out a lot. Look, the Astro Finance calendar. Listen, this is exclusive for the Discord members. I'm giving you a preview here on the live so you can see what it looks like. But this is exclusive for my Discord members to access. This is giving you the economic reports along with any astrological events that may be occurring in that same day or week. For an example, let's go to the weekly. So this week we have no astrological events. Look at that. So this is a pretty clean week as far as just economic reports. Okay. Let's see what next week's looks like. Next week we have 2 astrological events and we have a lot of economic reports. Woo! Boy, a lot of economic reports come out next week. We got CPI, PPI, retail sales, pending home sales, housing starts, import, export, industrial production, and University of Michigan sentiment. And then along with that, we have the new moon and we have the trine, the Uranus trine and Pluto, telling you to focus on technology, power structures, networks, and innovation cycles. Investor focus, look for constructive setups and relative strength in government policy, institutions, infrastructure, industrials, and disciplined long-term plans. Technology, AI, networks, social platforms, innovation, and market structure while staying alert for complacency. Favor patient entries, quality names, and confirmation that supportive sentiment is translating into actual demand. Expected impact window about 2 to 4 trading days around the exact aspect. All right. So this is a powerful tool here I created for my community to use. I want everybody using this to plan ahead for your weeks. This is not like it's the end all be all of what you should do and what you shouldn't do, but it's giving you a heads up as to what may be occurring, give you an idea of the conditions you're entering. All right, and that's the best we could ask for. You want to get in the market. There's no exact science. You could ask for the best thing you can ask for is the conditions and the projected conditions, and then you could use that information to create the outcome you believe is going to happen. And a lot of times that outcome still doesn't even happen. So over time, the better you get at combining these indicators and understandings, the more accurate your projections should become. And that allow you to make money more frequently and stop taking losses. So tools like this are one of those tools that can help you project and see the conditions of the market before the charts show it to you. All right. So everybody on the live, that's it for the live session today on YouTube. Appreciate everybody that came through YouTube and TikTok. I will be posting this session. Hope you took down the price levels, got the information in. Join the Discord if you want access to the tools, the Astro economic calendar, and I will make sure you are informed daily. I'm updating the team daily and weekly with new information, news, and levels. So join the community. I'll see you there. If not, I'll see you next live session, charting session here on YouTube. Make sure you at least subscribe to the YouTube channel. And